Hey guys, it's Sunday, and we all know what that means. It's the Aussie Gamer Cave's brag post day. So it's probably my favorite day of the week. A good chance to see what everybody else has picked up that week and see how well I've done compared to other people. So this week I've had an amazing week. It follows up from what I picked up the previous week. I went back to that collector's house who I managed to pick up all those other items from to basically clean him out of what I wanted. Some of the stuff he had a lot, and he had a lot of rare things. He had a floppy disk drive for the Saturn, and he also had one of the Famicom Hotel entertainment systems, which was used in Japan so that you could play Super Famicom games in their hotel rooms. They're really rare and really expensive. So I went there with the intention of trying to get what I could. However, finances, you're not guaranteed to get everything. So unfortunately, I didn't walk away with everything that I wanted. But here's what I did get. And I will tell you at the end what I paid for it. Because obviously, as we all know, we all like a bargain, and we like to know when other people got a bargain so we can be envious. So starting with Dreamcast Power. Keep in mind any consoles I show come with all the cables, etc. and controllers. This is region modded, so I can play imported games and also burnt games. So pretty happy with this. It came with a large case of about 30 burnt games. The only genuine game that it came with was Power Stone, which is a Capcom game, which I'm pretty happy to have. So the second one of this is really expensive and really rare, and I've never actually played a Power Stone game. So it'll be interesting to play that once I get all this stuff set up. So another console I got, another Sega related one, is the Sega Saturn. Now, previously last week, you would have seen from the photo that I picked up quite a few Saturn games. However, I did not have the console because he didn't know where it was. So we located it this week. We're unable to test it because this is probably the only console that was missing some cables. It was missing the power cables and also the AV. So I took this in an untested kind of deal. So, but I'm hoping it works, and if not, I can probably play around with it and try fix it up to see if I can get it working myself. I got a boxed Mega CD 2 complete, other than the baggies that came with it originally. I'm pretty happy to have this, although I already have it. The main reason I got this is because I have a friend who's been pestering me to pick one up if I find one. I picked this one up. However, now he tells me that, oh, no, I don't want it anymore. So what I'm going to do with it, I'll probably sell this one to make some money back. I don't normally sell things, but you know, if I already have one, what's the point of keeping it? So, and I can make some of my money back. All right, whoa, that's a little heavy. So another one I got, which I'm pretty happy with, and one I've wanted to, I got, whoa, okay, this ain't working how I wanted it to, but the Famicom, the Family Computer System, and the Famicom Disk System, which obviously the Japanese releases, both in working order, which is great. Obviously, you need a step-down converter for them to work, and it runs off RF, which isn't the best, but it is what it is. But the disk system also has had a new belt put in it, which is great because that's one of the things that goes on them quite constantly. So, and it's just a cool collector's piece. I mean, I'm not actively gonna go and play every Famicom or collect every Famicom game out there, but it's a cool talking piece and maybe a discussion video in the future. So happy to have that. That's it for, oh no, actually more consoles. Then now we'll move on to the handhelds. So I got not one, but two Atari Lynx handheld consoles. There are two versions of them as well, and they're both in full working order, and the screens are impeccable. There's no real signs of wear, and they came in an Atari carry case with quite a few games. There's about 14 games. The most notable one, and probably the rarest one of the bunch, is actually Dino Olympics, which is a rare find for the Atari, and prices on eBay for this for the cart seem to be going around the $70 mark. So a great one to have in the collection, and I'll probably actively play this and see how it is. I also got a Game Gear with about 4 or 5 games. Nothing of note for the Game Gear games. Castle Illusion's in there right now. Also a boxed Game Gear TV tuner pack, which you plug into the top of your Game Gear, and it allows you to watch TV through basically radio signals, UHF and VHF. I haven't tested that to see if it works, but it's another interesting talking piece as well, which, you know, I don't mind having things that I can be like, this was this back in the 90s and that. Like, I love talking about collecting, and so I'm great to have that. Let's move on to some of the games. This is taking longer than I wanted to. Picked up a fair few Master System games. The most notable one probably of the bunch was Power Strike. Now, this is an uncommon game. Power Strike 2 is considered rare, and I've seen posts on the Australian Facebook groups for about 200, but this is around the $100 mark. So, and it's actually a fun game. Like, it's a really good rail shooter, and I'm happy to have it and happy to play it, and I'll probably do a playthrough of that one. Notable for the Mega Drive, I got Fucky. Fucky is a weird game. It's not the most complicated of games, and it's not the most funnest of games either, but it's one of those addictive games. Addictive for its simplicity and the fact that it drives you crazy, how hard it actually is. Basically, you play as Flicky, and your idea is to get Chirpies to the exit without being caught by the cat, I think his name's Tiger, or in later stages there's an iguana that tries to stop you called Iggy. And basically, if you run out the left side of the screen, you come back in through the right side of the screen. There's a little bit of leeway, but if you're like chasing a cat to throw something at it and it goes out the left side, you'll see it appear on the back end of you. So it's kind of tricky because you've got to basically keep an eye on both sides of the spectrum in order to ensure that you don't get caught by the cats. And you only have very limited lives, and once you're over, it's game over. There's no continues, so it's a hard game. Warrior of Rome, it looks interesting. I don't know much about this game, and that's why I picked it up. But it's a real-time war simulation game. So, and it looks like it has some interesting cutscenes as well as some strategic play and like some decision making, which go one way or the other. So it should be a fairly interesting game to play. And Garfield caught in the act. Doesn't like Mondays and loves lasagna. I can relate. And I remember watching Garfield as a kid, and I remember seeing this game in Sega magazines and wanting to play it and never picking it up. Didn't even come to my local video shop, so I couldn't even rent it out. So now I get to play it. Stoked. Other games. This is an interesting one. This is Halo on the Atari 2600 system. This was, I guess you could call it a fan game almost. It was designed and programmed by Ed Fries, who's actually one of the previous vice presidents of the Microsoft gaming studio, which was, he was during the period of the acquisition of Bungie and the Halo franchise from Microsoft. So it's interesting, and I mean, Halo on the 2600 had so many limitations for power, and just to get the Master Chief sprite on there would have been really difficult. But the introduction music is what makes it. Imagine 2600 music with the Halo theme. It's pretty cool, and to pick that up is great. I mean, you can still buy these. These were released by Atari Age during a retro game convention in 2010. You can go to the Atari Age website and purchase this, the cart and manual, or you can get the box upgrade. And the box is actually pretty cool. So I recommend, if you're interested in homebrews or hacks or anything like that, look this one up. Also got Strawberry Shortcake for the Atari. I don't know, probably going to be a crap game, probably never play it, but I just saw it and it made me think of the South Park episode Imagination Land with Strawberry Shortcake and the evil imaginary characters when they break through the wall. Interesting to have. Do you guys know that there are actually wireless controllers for the Atari? Well, these are Game 2 Mate wireless controllers that were for the 2600, and I think they worked on the later revisions of the console generations for the Atari as well. I have not seen these for sale anywhere, and they're in really good condition. They're just a little bit dusty, so to have those and to be able to play Atari wirelessly, how seamlessly it plays is another story. But to have it and to have that option is great because cables are annoying now, let's face it. Alright, so that's the majority. Oh yeah, okay. Two more games notable. Kirby, the Crystal Shards. NTSC, so the American one, but like this is a really expensive game in Australia. The card alone in Australia is 120 to 200 bucks. Box is around 1,000. The artwork on it's pretty cool, and I eventually want to get a NTSC console, maybe one of the American only releases like the Toys R Us ones, so to be able to play this without having to pay expensive amounts to play it is great, and to obviously have the physical copy with it. And also Uni Rally, which I played as a kid. Box is in amazing condition for its age, so happy to have that one. Now, you probably would have seen at the glimpse of the collector's place that you would have seen a 32X there. Now, 32Xs are way overpriced, but they're extremely rare in Australia. And I don't actually know how many are in circulation in Australia because they did not sell well. They're at the end of the Mega Drive life cycle, and Sega had already announced the Saturn in Japan before the release of the 32X. So everybody knows that there was going to be a new console generation, and Sega was just basically trying to do everything they could to extend the life cycle of the Mega Drive, which was at its end anyway. No, I've seen them go for like 600 bucks boxed. I was lucky enough to pick one up in this lot. Boxed 32X, all cables, manual, missing the insert, which I'm a little sad about. But I never thought I'd get one of these because I'm not willing to pay ridiculous amounts for hardware or even games. Like I won't pay more than $100 for a game. And yeah, I would never pay $400 to $600 for a boxed, obsolete, I guess console add-on where there's not that many games. And if you do want games for a 32X, they are sparse and they're hard to find, and the good ones are fairly expensive. Speaking of which is one of the ones I actually got in this, and I know on one of the Australian Facebook groups there's been talk about this game, Colibri. You basically play as a hummingbird, and it's a very interesting game, and it's one of those rare gems on the 32X. Because of that, it is really expensive to buy, and online I've seen them go for about $400. The box is like got a little bit of damage on the top, but it's almost dropped it. It's still functioning. The cart's in amazing condition. It's missing the manual, but it's a really interesting game, and it's an exclusive release for the 32X. So I'll probably do a playthrough video of this just because there's been some talk about is it worth it, and I don't think it'd be worth $400 personally. There's many great games out there for 15 to 20 bucks, but this is a rare find, so to have it and be able to do a playthrough for everybody would be great. So that's my pickups for this week. Apologies if the video was too long. I did my best to ensure that this was a short video. However, as you can see, there is a lot of stuff here. And I wanted to talk about a lot of the highlights, and yeah, there are a lot of great things that I wanted to discuss. How much did I pay for all this, you think? Well, I'm cheap. Like most collectors, I only have really limited income to dedicate to this. So for all this, for everything, I paid about $600. That's an amazing deal. Like, I probably got like 30, 40 games. I got like multiple consoles. I also got like a NES as well, which is region modded, which I forgot to put out here because I'm taking it apart to clean it right now. But yeah, so I got a great deal. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I know it's a long video, but I hope you got something out of it, and I hope you enjoyed my pickup and are a little bit envious as well. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, or comment. If you comment, I'll do my best to write a reply. You can ask questions about anything I'm picked up here, and I will do my best to provide information on it. Or if you, yeah, just write me anything. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your Sunday. Good luck collecting.